We're just waiting for Elliot Swallow to get us underway. There is the whistle, and Josh Ashby gets proceedings underway here at the Royal Charging Stadium. For Oxford City, the task will be to end the season strongly, and they'll start the first attack here with Tafari Moore. Has Andre Burley making a run in front of him. Cross into the box. It's defended by the captain, Jack Cook, and he heads it over for the first corner of the game inside 30 seconds. And that corner goes to Oxford City, who are starting strong here. So the first corner of the game over on that far right-hand side. Josh Ashby goes over to take it. It's taken short. They can't quite play their way out of danger. Wealdstone crossing from Josh Parker towards the far post, but it seems as though Josh Parker's just strayed offside, and that first opening for a chance goes a-begging for Oxford City. Gives us a good chance to calm down a little bit and go through the teams for you. It is 4 changes for Oxford City, but I'll break as here come Wealdstone with Kretschmar. But it's a great challenge from Tafari Moore, who sticks a foot in there to win the ball back, but it wouldn't have mattered anyway as the linesman flag goes up again in these early stages. A couple of offsides as the game just starts to get underway here. As I was saying, 4 changes for Oxford City. Andre Burley back from international duty with St Kitts and Nevis. He starred in the 3-1 victory for his nation over San Marino last week. He even scored his first international goal in that game. So Andre Burley back, as is Giles Phillips. Lewis Coyle, who replaced Jacob Roddy after he was injured on the Fylde Coast on Saturday, is also back in. And as is Ernaldo Krasniqi, the Albanian midfielder who makes his debut today. So it's your usual back 3, if you like, for Oxford City. It's Tom Watson in goal, Tafari Moore on the right wing back, Lewis Coyle the left. It's Charlie O'Connell, Giles Phillips and Andre Burley, the centre halves. It looks as though Ernaldo Krasniqi is lining up beside Reece Fleet, and Harvey Greenslade and Josh Ashby playing off Josh Parker. But now it's Wealdstone's turn to come forward, but Micah Obiero, his running on goal is blocked by Giles Phillips as Oxford City continue to just start to get a foothold in this game, as are the Stones. One of the shorter journeys of the season for them. There's a new name in their squad. Toby Adiemo joined on loan from Watford. He'll have to wait to make his Wealdstone debut. He's on the bench. Sam Bowen starts for them today. He scored twice in the reverse fixture at Grosvenor Vale. And a couple of players you need to look out for today. Perhaps when we're on about internationals, it would be rude to leave out Tarin Alarakia, the lively winger. He starts today for Wealdstone after missing January due to the African Cup of Nations. He went to South Africa to represent Tanzania. Meanwhile, Reece Fleet goes flying into a challenge. The Wealdstone players are not happy, up in arms as 4, 5, 6 players round the officials, and the referee may have an early decision to make here. Just waiting to see what colour the card will be. I think it will be a card. And just as we wait there, just a late, I think it's going to be a yellow card for Reece Fleet. Meanwhile, locally, Brackley in the National League North have equalised in the 89th minute against Gloucester. A big point for them, considering the circumstances there. They were behind for a long time in that game. They conceded after 4 minutes, but George Carline, in the 89th minute, has salvaged a point for Brackley, and their hunt for a top 3 spot continues. So good news just up the road in Gloucester. But here, slightly cagey start to this game, as Wealdstone will come forward from the right. And they'll come forward on the left as well. I'll introduce our co-commentator in just a few minutes when this game just starts to settle down. But it's Wealdstone that are coming forward again. That ball, Oxford City say, has gone out, but play continues, and they're on the edge of the area here. Here's Alarakia, shot towards goal. Andre Burley has to get something on that, and now Wealdstone will have their first corner of the game. Over on that far side. Cross into the box, headed away by Reese Fleet. City still looking to clear their lines, but just can't quite do that at the moment. Cross in towards the box. It goes into Al-Arakia, who sticks out a left leg, but he can't connect with it. And Tom Watson is more than happy to let that go out behind for a goal kick. And meanwhile, it's a good opportunity to introduce our co-commentator for today, Rennie Smith. Rennie, great to have you here with me. Obviously, you'll probably be a little bit disappointed you're not in the team, but Oxford City looking to finish this season in a strong fashion.
Andrew, thanks for having me. Thanks for having me today as a co-host. It's a privilege to be here with you today, sitting next to you.
Well, I've got to say as well, Rennie, as a Burnley fan, you've played for my club today. You've also played for the likes of Arsenal and Chelsea. What's it been like, the difference between, obviously, actually I'll pause because here come Oxford City. Tafari Moore's clever flick can't quite find its way into Harvey Greenside, so we'll go back. But, you know, it's been a difficult season, hasn't it? You've sunk your teeth right into it here as an Oxford City player. How have you found it this season?
Yeah, you know, obviously it's been tough with the results, you know, to motivate each other every day through training when the results haven't been going well for us has been difficult. But considering the position we are in the table, considering all of those kind of negative things, we've been going at it every day in training. So you wouldn't notice it if I'm honest from the boys' mentality during the week.
Yeah, that's been repeated, hasn't it? That line, and it really is true. Oxford City, although we have been relegated, it's not felt like that around the place, and it's not felt like that in this game so far. An even start, City getting forward early on, but since then Wealdstone started to settle into this game and come forward themselves. But City will try and play their way out from the back. Andre Burley lets the ball run across his body, and that clearance up the field is well blocked by, well, I can't quite see who until he turns around. De Silva, number 19 for Wealdstone. Big shout from Max Kretschmar, the number 10, for that to be a Wealdstone throw. Not quite. So Oxford City will have a throw in, and they'll take it up the line. Flicked on by Parker. Tafari Moore try and latch onto that, but Jack Cook, the captain,
I think we're in a 4-4-2-2, a 3-4-2-1 formation today, it looks like.
You know what? I was just thinking the same thing. I was wondering whether it would be kind of fluid sort of formation, Rennie. I actually just said that it was, I thought it was the usual three. We've got Charlie O'Connell there, Giles Phillips and Andre Burley, but it does seem as though those full-backs in Tafari Moore and Lewis Coyle, it was one goes forward, the other one sits back. It's quite a fluid sort of formation here so far. Meanwhile, it's been a really bitty start to this game. Just 8 minutes on the clock, no chances as of yet. Talin Al-Arakia did stick a left leg out to try and latch onto a pass from behind the City back line. That's pretty much as close as we got. Marcus Dewhurst, the Wealdstone goalkeeper, and Tom Watson, the City goalkeeper, haven't had anything to do so far. Clip ball forward for Wealdstone. Tafari Moore will race with Dylan De Silva.
Offside.
And yes, the linesman flag does go up. I think that's one of the easiest decisions he will make this season. Is full time at Brackley as well. They have drawn 1-1 away at Gloucester, who are fighting for every point at the bottom. That is a really big point for Brackley. It might not seem that way, but perhaps that could turn out to be a really big point in the grand scheme of things. Neither side really getting going in this game so far, Rennie. It's City are doing the pressing, and Wealdstone, as soon as I say that though, Wealdstone are away, and it's Kretschmar on the right, works the ball into the box, cross across goal, but there's no one there to attack it. I think, obviously, how do you see it as a footballer and being in this Oxford City dressing room, Rennie? Relegated, no pressure?
Well, look, the manager said during the week, he hasn't mentioned it, to be honest, the fact that we've been relegated. So it's pretty much business as usual. It is what it is. It's a game of football to win. So he hasn't really even mentioned it during the week, which I guess is a good thing in a way. The focus has been on the match and just carry it out, do our best, and try and win it.
Absolutely. I think that, what you say there is absolutely true. Even against the AFC Fylde, when it was confirmed, he was more disappointed with the fact that what would have been a really hard-earned point was snatched away from a few, questionable refereeing decisions, let's say, on air. Yeah. But that's what City will do and continue to do. They could still have a big say in other teams' destinies. They can win today. Wealdstone aren't out of it just yet. And then there's 4 big games against teams gunning for promotion in the playoffs coming up. But Wealdstone continue to do the early running down the left now. De Silva cuts back. He's got Kretschmar in support, who's been given that sort of free role in midfield. Gets the ball stuck underneath his feet. Will continue it. De Silva, neat ball down the left, crossing to the box, and it wasn't a bad delivery either. Tarin Alarakia was in the 6-yard box underneath it, but couldn't rise high enough to flick the header towards goal. And Wealdstone just starting to grow into this one. And Aldo Krasnicki making his full debut for Oxford City today, just trying to stab the ball away from Alex Dyer. Another long ball forward from the front. That's not going to catch out Tafari Moore though, but Dylan Smith does. Nicks the ball off the fullback. Roulette's inside the box. The ball bounces around. Charlie O'Connell heads it into the path of Reece Fleet. City can't clear their lines, but Fleet keeps a composed head and manages to find Tafari Moore, and eventually it's the fullback that fires wide. Ashby goes down after a challenge with Dyer. It would have been soft if it was given. The referee plays on though. I think he's got the decision right there. And that was a little bit of a let-off there. Just started to see Dylan De Silva grow into the game. A little bit of trickery there. I'll have to look out for that one. What's it like as a player, Rennie? Do your homework on the opposition? Is there anyone that you flagged to look out for today?
Well, that's one of the things, Andrew, with being a part-time team in this league. You find it difficult finding the time to do that analysis before pre-game and then post-game analysis. I think that we don't oftentimes do enough of that pre-game and post-match analysis that we would like to. You can see it with the full-time teams.
I'll break though, because here come Wealdstone. Like you were saying,
a lot of the full-time teams, they have that luxury, which we don't. And I think that is a big thing in this league.
It is, and I think that what we'll see today is 2 teams that, even though City's position is 24th, they are, we're punching above our weight in terms of structure and everything else as a club. But there's a ball forward here which Lewis Coyle will latch onto. Josh Parker goes into his man off the ball. Has created some space here, and Parker's on the edge of the box. Lewis Coyle tries to pick him out. Parker and Ashby just getting in each other's way, but City continue to try and encroach forward, and it's just a little breakdown in communication there between the 2 Joshes, Ashby and Parker, that's perhaps taken the ball away from them. But 2 teams here, both part-time, Wealdstone and Oxford City, so it'll be interesting to see what it will be like as a more even playing field. I mean, Wealdstone have had a very tumultuous season. They're doing quite well, but they had Stuart Maynard as their manager, and he did a cracking job there. I'll break because here come the away team. Down the left, across goal, well controlled by Charlie O'Connell. Eventually hooks the ball away, but City just can't seem to keep possession of the ball for any quality amount of time. Arnaldo Krasnicki goes crashing into the back of Max Kretschmar. Free kick to Wealdstone. This game...
Wealdstone seeming to dominate the possession at the moment. We need to try and, if we can, start a little bit higher and try to get a little bit more pressure on the ball.
I think Josh Parker's just trying to do exactly that, as Jack Cook was on the ball, the Wealdstone captain, and Parker starting the press from the front. It's been a sort of cagey game here, 15 minutes in. You're listening to BBC Radio Oxford. It's Oxford City 0, Wealdstone 0 at the Roar Charging Stadium. Brackley played earlier today with a big point away on the road at Gloucester City. Meanwhile, if you're tuning in for the Oxford United game, they're away at Shrewsbury today. It's currently Shrewsbury 0, Oxford United 0. That's over on 95.2 FM on your digital radios or Freeview channel 722. If you're also tuning in to listen to Banbury's game against Hereford, which was originally scheduled to be on BBC Sounds today, that was called off earlier today. So it's Oxford City 0, Wealdstone 0 as we approach the 15-minute mark. Here come the away team again. Max Kretschmar on the ball. Has a couple of options ahead of Silva, who's seen a lot of the ball in these early stages on the left wing. Finds Jaden Mundell-Smith, but that bounces off his legs and goes out for an Oxford City throw in. Scrappy start to this game. Still no real chances as of yet. It's Wealdstone that have shaded it going forward, but to say they've been the better team would be a little bit of a stretch so far, as neither side has really tested their opposition goalkeepers, or defences for that matter. Harvey Greenslade's challenge goes in on Mundell-Smith. Throw into Wealdstone. Just wonder when this game's going to start to find its feet. Mundell-Smith over on the ball. Finds Charlie Barker. Across to Jack Cook, the captain. Just brings the ball into the Oxford City half, inside the centre circle. City will press with Josh Parker, but Wealdstone not panicking with the ball. There's something you will see from Wealdstone, is that they're a very good footballing team. That's something that Stuart Maynard instilled in them. I mean, you could go back to when Dean Brennan was the manager and Stuart Maynard was the assistant. That has stuck with them ever since. And with David Noble, they have another manager that likes to play football and fits them like a glove.
Yeah, 2 new additions as well that I've noticed. Sam Cox, formerly at Welling, I believe, as a player manager role, joins likewise Wealdstone as a player manager. I also think I noticed Neil Banfield as well in the coaching staff there, someone that I remember from my time at Arsenal as a young player. He was working there with Arsene Wenger as a first team coach. I noticed him working with the back four today for Wealdstone. So 2 big additions there in the coaching staff, I believe, at Wealdstone.
That's very good knowledge, Rennie. Maybe you're in the wrong business. Maybe you should be a commentator. But what I'm going to say, Sam Cox, you're absolutely right. Former Welling player coach. He also coached at Tottenham Hotspur. Right. So that North London sort of vibe, especially being in Wealdstone as well. So David Noble will have there's a lot of knowledge on that bed, just as you said. But what I'll also add is he'll probably have really bad memories of this ground, David Noble. Obviously, probably using his Arsenal connections as a former Arsenal player. But his last visit here, the playoff promotion final last May. Oxford City 4, St Albans 0 on that famous occasion for Oxford City, going 4-0 up at half-time and securing their place in the National League for the first time. He'll be looking to get some revenge today. I'm pretty certain of that. However, it's his team that are looking to stay in the National League this season. Still no real chances as of yet, as this game hasn't really got going. Here's Alex Dyer, brings the ball forward. Cook now, again marauds forward. He's got a little bit of space to run into now, the Wealdstone captain. Again trying to force play, but can't quite get past Ronaldo Krasnicki. Now what can City do? Andre Burley on the ball, and there's a few players here. He's lost the ball, goes down inside the area, appeals for a penalty, not given. I thought that Andre Burley, despite turning into trouble there, got the ball.
I agree.
But we'll have to look at that back. Obviously, I'll reserve my judgment for when we see the link. But I think Andre Burley got that tackle just about right.
Yeah,
Whether Oxford City, of course, have been on the wrong end of a lot of those decisions this season. You could even argue perhaps that's sort of something even itself out. But here comes City. Harvey Greenslade tries to chip the goalkeeper, and his right-footed lobbed effort, I suppose you could say, I think gets caught in the wind and spirals away from goal, never troubling the goalkeeper Marcus Dewhurst. But nonetheless, that's the first shot that Oxford City have had today. It's fallen to Harvey Greenslade, and in these last few seconds we've had a couple of chances, or a couple of moments, let's say, either end. Perhaps this game's starting to come alive. Here's Tafari Moore, nods the ball into the path of Harvey Greenslade. Good play from the Bristol Rovers loanee to keep it alive. Neat play. Krasnicki, edge of the box is Ashby, sends a shot towards goal. That is the first shot of the game. It falls to Oxford City. Ashby wrapped his right foot around a shot on the edge of the box, but that was always moving away from goal. And in the end, Marcus Dewhurst wasn't quite sure, had to cover his angles there, but that shot spins away from the left-hand post. Opportunity there, Rennie.
Yeah, not far away there from Ash. He had a good strike, unlucky not to hit the target. As you say, always moving away from the goal.
We've seen that in Josh Ashby's locker. He has found the target from there, but City doing the running now, and they'll start to press Wealdstone as they try and play their way out. I think we'll see both teams try and do that this afternoon, but it's City that have won the ball back here. Ashby, he's hustled and harried by Alex Dyer, but keeps the ball, the City midfielder, and does well. Andre Burley over to Tafari Moore. What can Moore do now? He's playing against his former manager in David Noble. Tafari Moore signing for Oxford City after being on the wrong end of that 4-0 playoff final defeat. Moore just tries to find the possession back, and City will chase every single loose ball. They will not give up until that last ball is kicked on the final day in April away at Altrincham.
That was good there. During the week we were working on a high press, playing out from the back as a team, and that's what we did there. We won it high up when they were trying to play out from the back, and so that was good. That was good.
Yeah, they are pressing high, Oxford City, and they are starting to ask a few questions, and if they can keep doing that, there's always going to be opportunities that will present themselves to the hoops. I'm just getting the replay up here in the press box to see if we can look at that penalty shout again. It's not always the best angle, is it? But we'll see. But there's Orlando Krasnicki, goes down inside the box. That's another shout for a penalty. Another contentious decision that Elliott Swallows had to make there. He's been well in the thick of the action early on. Was that a penalty? Well, a couple of decisions to make there. Looking at the first one, Andre Burley gets the ball absolutely perfectly. It is not a penalty at the other end. Whereas that, for Ronaldo Krasnicki, was that a penalty? We'll have to look that up back again. Of course, the referee doesn't have the benefit of the replay, but he got the first call correct. Has he got that one right? Meanwhile, play continues, and it's Oxford City starting to pick up on these loose balls here. Let's have a look at that one from Ronaldo Krasnicki. In fact, just looking back at that,
I think he's won the ball there.
I think he has run the ball, and not just that, I think he's outside the box, so he has run the ball really well there. And I tell you what, I've got to give the referee credit where it's due. He's got those two decisions absolutely spot on so far. Let's hope he carries on in that way, because in recent weeks it definitely hasn't been that way. So Elliott Swallow, the referee, in the thick of the action, but he's made two correct calls so far, and we have the benefit of the replay and we don't. But here we are, 22 minutes in here. Oxford City 0, Wealdstone 0. Josh Ashby's shot the closest to a goal we've seen so far, but Andre Burley and Ronaldo Krasnicki in the thick of the action. Here's Lewis Coyle on the right. He's just strayed offside there, Lewis Coyle. Again, it looked tight. Nothing given though by... offside given though by the linesman. Just get the feeling, Rennie, this game's starting to find its feet.
Yeah, you've seen now Wealdstone trying to play out from the back. We're giving them good pressure high up the pitch, causing them problems, and it's working for us. You see now they kick a long ball into the striker and we win the ball and then start playing from there. So it's good. Oxford City have got up higher up the pitch now and starting to put more pressure on Wealdstone.
You're absolutely right, Rennie. As soon as the goalkeeper Marcus Dewhurst had received that ball inside his own half, he's got Harvey Greenslade, Josh Parker, Josh Ashby closing him down and forcing him to go long. Giles Phillips picked up on that loose ball. That could prove to be the decisive factor if City are to get something today. And we've just seen since they've got the ball in the Wealdstone half, and that high press has been, well, instigated and allowed to happen. That's where this game sort of changed. Wealdstone were having the better of the shading proceedings early on, but now Oxford City are working their way back into the game. Brilliant touch by Josh Ashby, brings the ball forward, has Harvey Greenslade 25 yards out, ball on the left, Coyle cross into the box, Parker's there ready and waiting, heads it into the ground, and Josh Parker scores for Oxford City. Mistake by Marcus Dewhurst. Josh Parker won't care, Oxford City won't care, because there's 24 minutes on the clock and City take the lead at the Roar Charging Stadium. Josh Parker's 15th National League goal of the season, and Oxford City have taken the lead here. Ball into the box by Lewis Coyle, into the path of Josh Parker, heads the ball down, and Wealdstone just couldn't clear their lines. He swiped a foot at it, the Antiguan and Barbuda international, and it goes through the hands of Marcus Dewhurst and nestles in the corner of the net. And all of a sudden we have got a game in our hands here. Oxford City 1, Wealdstone 0. Well, it's probably not the best goal that Josh Parker will score in his career, Rennie, but it's a goal nonetheless, and City take the lead here.
No, it was a good initial play up to Josh, held the ball well, Ash won the second ball, played it across, played it wide to Coyley, and then a lobbed ball into the box from Coyley, and Josh was strong in the air. Ball fell down to him, and just a simple tap in, but goal's a goal, and we're 1-0 up, so it's brilliant.
And that goal came from that high press. Wealdstone trying to clear their lines, and when the ball went long, City mopped it up, if you like, and came forward again. It's the tactics that are working at the moment, but as soon as that goal's been scored, straight away Wealdstone trying to find a way back into it. Tyron Alarakia bursting forward, but City rescuing the ball again and trying to catch them on the counter-attack. All of a sudden, this tight, cagey game has burst into life. And although City may be relegated, we have said they will continue to fight until the very end. Burley, ball across to find Ashby. I think the linesman was about to flag against Josh Ashby there. Nevertheless, they will continue to fight for every point. I think there's still a belief that, I know it sounds a little bit silly, but I don't think City will necessarily be content with staying where they are in terms of the league table. They want to finish as high as possible. This is their first ever season in the National League. So if they can finish higher up in the relegation zone, they will just continue to make club records. Meanwhile, Giles Phillips stabs the ball away from Max Kreshmar, who was leaning in to try and get that ball and just avoided the City centre half. This game that goal might be what this game needs. Mundlesmith, ball down the right, and Andre Burley reads it and stops the ball from finding the feet of De Silva. Wealdstone now are going to have to start asking the questions. But Ronaldo Krasnicki nicks the ball off the yellow shirts and bursts forward himself. Can't quite find another hoop shirt, Ronaldo Krasnicki, but he's doing a good job at breaking up the play so far on his full debut. Meanwhile, as we reach the 27th minute, still Shrewsbury 0, Oxford United 0. There's that high press again. Dewhurst slips, the keeper manages to regain his footing to find Barker. Now Mundlesmith. City will continue to press. It is causing Wealdstone all sorts of problems. Here's Tafari Moore, keeps the ball alive, as does Harvey Greenslade. Ball with Josh Ashby now. Greenslade steps over Alex Dyer. Got to be a free kick to City. The referee agrees with me. Free kick. And now we're starting to see what Oxford City can do. Wealdstone just can't live with them at the minute.
Yeah, if you see the first 20 minutes, it was a little bit passive, a little bit low. Wealdstone started to get into the swing of things with their passing. And then sort of last 10 minutes, you see a little change in Oxford. They're now pressing, getting after the ball. And we're seeing some results here with a wide free kick, which looks dangerous. Dangerous position.
It absolutely is. And when you've got Ronaldo Krasnicki, who's about 6'4", 6'5", it's an aerial presence there. Josh Ashby, who's a free kick, specialist really, has got an opportunity here to deliver another dangerous cross into the box, in which City scored from just a few minutes ago. It's going to be a one-man wall in Dylan De Silva, who will stand in front of Ashby. Apart from that, everyone forward for City, apart from Moore. Crossing towards the box, in towards goal, and it's flashed just wide by the head of Giles Phillips. Claps Josh Ashby, the City defender, because he knew what a brilliant delivery that was. Connected well with it, Giles Phillips, got the bright power on it. The placement just lacking, headed inches wide from Giles Phillips, not far away at all there.
No, he would have been disappointed with that one. Close to goal, he would have liked to have got that one on target. Great ball in from Ash, and a real big chance they missed.
Well, Oxford City may be relegated. They may not be playing in this division next season, but they're certainly playing now like they deserve to be there. It is a really impressive start after surviving a little bit of answering a few questions from Wealdstone. Just looking back at that replay, brilliant ball from Ashby. And Giles Phillips did really well to rise to the challenge and head towards goal. Just couldn't find the target with that header. I would even go as far to say if he did, then that would have found the back of the net, because Marcus Dewhurst was beaten there all ends up. Not far away at all there. Really impressive stuff from Oxford City here, Rennie. I mean, you said it just before, but it really is true, isn't it? City relegated. Doesn't seem that way, though. These players are really playing for the badge.
No, not at all. I mean, it is what it is, and you go out there, you try to win a game of football, and that's what they're doing. That's what they're doing. They're being resolute in defence so far, and you know, got 1-0 up, that all-important goal, which hopefully they can maintain now and still keep that pressure, and now that's the key, to maintain that pressure and keep going for it rather than now sitting off and letting Wealdstone dominate again. Let's see how the last 15 minutes of the first half go.
Absolutely, we're into those last 15 minutes, 30 minutes on the clock. Free kick to Wealdstone meanwhile, as Dylan De Silva tripped around 25 yards out from goal, and it's presented the away side a good opportunity here. It's a big game for them today as well. 3 points for them would put them on the 50-point mark, which usually means safety, which would be one hell of achievement for one of the other part-time teams in this division. They've got an opportunity to equalise here. It looks as though Max Kretschmar is going to be the man to take this. The referee's whistle goes. It's a 3-man wall for Oxford City. 25 yards out, over the wall, just over the crossbar, onto the roof of the net. Max Kretschmar did absolutely everything right there. Ball over the wall. He just couldn't quite get that ball to dip just enough. And Tom Watson in the end, thankful to see that fly over his crossbar. That's the closest the away team have got to scoring. Max Kretschmar not too far away there. Here's Tom Watson now with the resultant goal kick. Forward, brilliantly chested down by Parker. Into Greenslade. Krasnicki brilliantly dribbles out of danger there. Fleet has Lewis Coyle running ahead of him. Right idea from Reece Fleet. He tried to split the defence with a through ball, but it was just a little bit too powerful for Lewis Coyle to run onto. And just looking back at that free kick again by Max Kretschmar, that really was not far away. Ball over the top, and it beats the City defence. All ends up, and Wealdstone are in here. Shrugs off Giles Phillips. Micah Obiero can't quite get his shot away. Manages to keep the ball in possession though. Wealdstone with a really good opportunity here. Obiero again. Does shoot this time. Tipped over the crossbar by Tom Watson. And all of a sudden it's the away side that are asking all the questions.
Yeah, it was a dangerous long ball in behind there from Wealdstone. He couldn't quite sort his feet out, the striker. It seemed to give Giles a bit of time to get back into it and defend the ball.
Well, ball over the top. It did beat Phillips, but he did well to recover. I don't think Micah Obiero would have been happy that he couldn't pull the trigger straight away, but did well to test Watson at the second attempt. Corner now for Wealdstone. Another chance here for the away team. Ball floated into the box, but it beats everyone over the back post. There's a little bit of to and throwing at the back stick between Josh Parker. I can't quite see. I think in fact it was Obiero again, but nothing to be there. No penalty or free kick or foul at all. And that is a little bit of a wasted opportunity from Wealdstone's second corner of the game. Not too dangerous, but it is the away team that's starting to come back into this one.
Dangerous now.
It is again, because here comes City on the counter-attack. Ashby's got Greenslade to the right of him, but when he tried to feed the Bristol Rovers loanee through on goal, Jack Cook was closing down the angle for a pass. Did really well, the Stones captain, to stop City there, because it looked for a second that City were in on goal again. This game, from what was a rather tame start, has come to life here after that Josh Parker goal. Throw in for City. Lewis Coyle over it, looking for options. No one really in the box apart from Parker, who's making a move to outside of the box to receive it, and he does. Coyle, cross into the box, easily intercepted by Cook in the end, but that long ball forwards straight into Andre Burley. Burley again, that's a foul by De Silva. Don't think there can be any complaints about that. Free kick to Oxford City. Perhaps it's another opportunity here for City to shape for a ball inside the box. Josh Ashby trudging over to take this one.
It's quite deep, this one. They've played it short here. It's quite a deep free kick. Going back to Giles now.
Yeah, I think that's the right option as well. I think it was I think the City players were just a little bit reluctant to go up, and why would they? They're ahead in this game. Fleet trying to outfox the Wealdstone defence. Krasnicki's header intercepted. Alarakia gets the ball down or goes shoulder to shoulder with Charlie Connell and beats him. Alarakia on the right. He's got options inside the box here. Cross towards the edge of the box. Kretschmar takes the ball down. Shot towards goal. Straight into the feet of Giles Phillips. And eventually Dylan De Silva's shot is steered away from the danger zone by the hooped back line. Now it's Wealdstone that are asking all the questions. City starting to try and pick them off on the counter-attack. They've got to stay strong here City, because we're just over 10 minutes to go until the interval. They need to take that lead into half-time. Alarakia really giving Charlie O'Connell the run for his money there. But a chance here for City. Coyle inside the box, can't quite sort his feet out and find another hoop shirt. A springing surprises this Oxford City team. Burley, Krasnicki just misses out. Wealdstone getting there before the Albanian midfielder. They'll come forward again. Kreshmar back towards goal. Hustled and harried by Charlie O'Connell. Free kick to Wealdstone. Kreshmar just ushering Ashby out the way. Wants to take it quickly and does, but they'll keep the ball here. Jaden Mundle-Smith now, the left back, brings the ball forward. He's got Alarakia in support, uses him. First sighter of Alarakia we got there. So I was saying before, they were without him in January because he was away in South Africa playing in the African Cup of Nations for Tanzania. Played against Morocco, who obviously sprung a lot of surprises at the last World Cup in Qatar. And he also...
Yeah, he's a bit of a danger man. He's got some... He's quick,
and
fast.
He's in again here, but he's
Offside.
just strayed offside. I think that's the right decision from the linesman again. But as soon as you were saying that, Rennie, I'll allow you to finish now.
No, he's a bit of a danger man. He's fast, quick, good with the ball, good in wide areas, 1 against 1, and he showed that there, getting in behind. Hopefully he doesn't show too many more actions like that again.
He's going to be key. He's going to be key for them today, isn't he? Tarin Alarakia. They've got some really talented players, Wealdstone, some really good footballers as well. And you look at the bench as well. They've got Toby Adeyemo, who's just signed on loan from Watford and scored on his Watford debut as well. But I'll break, because here's Alarakia again, bursting through the middle this time. He'll shake for a shot, moves the ball onto his left, shoots towards goal, and balloons a shot over the crossbar. He just puts his head in his shirt there. He knows, throws his arms in the air, Alarakia. He knows he should have done better with that. That's an opportunity that goes begging. And just as me and Rennie Smith were bigging up the Wealdstone winger, we'll probably do the opposite now, because he should have worked Tom Watson there.
He did everything right, apart from the finish. He brought it onto his left foot and then just didn't have the composure at the end to finish it. But that's something we need to try and stop moving forward.
I'm going to say you can't give him too many of them, Alarakia, because one of them are going to punish you. But here's Krasnicki bursting forward. He's having a really good start to his full debut and shoots, tipped over the bar by Marcus Dewhurst. Great save by the Wealdstone goalkeeper, but a great shot from Ronaldo Krasnicki. Didn't expect him to do that, but he did, and he didn't half come close as well. Ronaldo Krasnicki, decent shot from around 20 yards out, and it was dipping. And if it wasn't for Marcus Dewhurst, the Wealdstone goalkeeper, that would have been Oxford City 2-0 up. But he makes a great fingertip save to deny the midfielder, and City have a corner on this near side. Josh Ashby goes over to take it again. Not far away at all. So here is Ashby, right arm in the air, looking for someone inside the box, floated in. Krasnicki again, and it's again into a good area, but again Krasnicki is matched by Marcus Dewhurst, who may have made a mistake for the first goal when Josh Parker's shot slipped beneath his fingers, but he's made 2 solid saves to deny Ronaldo Krasnicki, first from a shot from just outside the D from going into the net, and then his header from a corner that looked like it was just about to nestle in the corner of the net, but in the end he does well to move across his line, Dewhurst, and collect that ball. 2 opportunities again for Oxford City. They'll come forward again though. It's been a really entertaining game, really. Moore shapes and beats Alarakia with his sort of mannerisms, really. Shapes to go one way and goes the other. Let's look at that Krasnicki header again, rose highest, and in fact it was a pretty standard stop by Marcus Dewhurst, but did well to meet that header nevertheless.
Yeah, we're looking dangerous today from set pieces. A few headers, one off target from Giles, one on target from Ronaldo. So that could be a way forward for us today through set pieces as well.
It's been pretty good stuff, but Wealdstone look dangerous themselves. It's keeping them at bay, which is a task, and they'll come forward. Clip towards Krechmar, but it goes over the midfielder's head, and Giles Phillips heads the ball away. Alarakia manages to rescue the ball for Wealdstone and continue this attack. City just trying to defend. Smith inside the box. Cross in towards the box. Headed away and eventually cleared by Coyle. Danger not over yet though. Barker. Wealdstone players camped in the Oxford City half. Alex Dyer now. They're just trying to move the City defence, but City happy with their shape and they're going to sit in for now. Ball across Coyle, but Coyle will rise to meet the header. City will continue that press, but here's Dyer. Moves away from Ashby. Will come forward. Good touch by Obiero. Again on the edge of the box. Kreshmar to Alarakia. Chance here. Keeps it moving. Dyer into the chest of O'Connell. Good block by the City defender. Still not over yet though, the danger. Alarakia right on the edge of the box. Tries to move the ball. He's got a chance here. Alarakia into the side netting. That's his first sighter from inside the box since he ballooned that shot over, and you can tell that he wasn't happy with that first effort, but he's coming closer with his second. Not a bad effort. It's Wealdstone that continue to ask the questions now. Charlie O'Connell making a good block just seconds before. City need to stay strong here, Rennie Smith, don't they? 4 minutes to go until half time.
Yeah, well, it's that man again, isn't it? Alarakia jinking inside the box, left, right foot, 1-2s, and then a shot hits the side netting. We got a bit lucky there on that one.
Yeah, I wonder what the angle's like. We don't have the best of views from the press box here. We're quite far away, especially from that far side. So I wonder if the angle was probably tougher or as it looked, because it looked as though Alarakia should have at least forced a save from Tom Watson. Not to be though, but that won't put him off. He's in the thick of the action for Wealdstone. He was in the reverse fixture as well. But it's Wealdstone looking for a way back into this game at the moment. Kreshmar into Dyer. Passes the ball over to Cook. Onto the right now. Jinking inside and out. Just looking for an option. They have one in Micah Obiero. Just tries to shrug off Reece Fleet, but he can't. And City have the ball back with Josh Parker, who's done expertly well to not just win the ball back, but win a free kick. Really good centre forward play from Josh Parker. He's so good at that, isn't he, Reddy? You know, holding the ball up. He's in the goals at the moment as well, but not just that. He does the bits that you don't see off the ball really well as well, doesn't he?
Yeah, you know, he drops in, gives the guys an option. He comes into midfield a lot, and is also a target man up front that you can play to and make runs off.
He does indeed, and to be fair, in recent weeks as well, he has been finding the net, which is what he duly deserves. And I think City do deserve maximum points out of one of these games coming up, because they've been hard done by. But it's Wealdstone again. Alarakia tries to feed through Obiero, but Giles Phillips is alert to the danger and cuts it out. He'll continue to press Phillips, but here comes Callum Tracy Cisse. Mundell Smith now. He shaped for a shot. He does, and it moves the shot. It's straight at Watson, but for a split second we were right behind that shot. It looked as though it could divert away from the net again. In the end, a pretty standard save to make for Tom Watson, but he makes it nonetheless. Another chance for Wealdstone, another save for Tom Watson.
Yeah, a bit of a speculative shot there from the left back, but it was moving, and Tom needed to save it.
And he did just that. City, they can get a second goal. If they can nick a second or a 2-goal lead at the interval, it would put them in a really strong position. Krasniqi plays the ball over to Thafari Moore. It's been a really strong start for Krasniqi. Moore jinks one way then the other. Cross in from Thafari Moore. It's not a bad cross. Didn't in the end find anyone. Floats over the crossbar. Marcus Dewhurst is happy to let it do just that as well. Still Oxford City 1, Wealdstone 0 as we wait for the fourth officials board here. Meanwhile, it is Shrewsbury 0, Oxford United 0 in League One. That's on 95.2 FM or Freeview Channel 722 if you want to listen to Jerome and the team with that one. If you're tuning in to listen to Banbury against Hereford, that was postponed earlier today due to a waterlogged pitch. So you're listening to Oxford City versus Wealdstone. And the last moments of the first half at that. It's Mundell Smith. Finds De Silva down the left. Cuts inside Andre Burley, De Silva, Obiero. Opportunity here for Obiero, but he just can't quite get past the duo, or defensive duo, of Giles Phillips and Andre Burley. Another corner to Wealdstone, their third of the game. They're coming closer, that's for sure. 45 on the clock. There's going to be a solitary minute of additional time. 1 minute.
Got to try and hold on to this 1-0 lead now, not concede going into the break. It's very important.
They have to do just that. Corner though, everyone bar one up for Wealdstone. Towards the far post, headed back in by Cook. Who's going to pick up on the loose ball? Krasnicki still not away. Alarakia juggles past one. Another opportunity here, but Greenslay's nicked the ball away. Can he use his pace to get past Alarakia? But a brilliant challenge from the Tanzanian international to keep it alive for Wealdstone. Ball in for Kretschmar. Who's going to get there first? Kretschmar gets there first, and Watson goes in. The linesman's giving a foul to Oxford City. Wealdstone wants a penalty. Watson rushed off his line to get to the ball before Kretschmar. It looked from this angle that the goalkeeper had brought him down. I thought the referee was going to point to the spot. The referee's not given any decision. The linesman's given it the other way for a dive. Let's just see what's going to give him. The referee's going to stick with his original decision and just give a goal kick. Very interesting. A few contentious decisions that the referee's had to make in this first half. He's got them all right. Oh, and that's I'm not sure if that is a dive. I think he's just anticipating the contact match, Kretschmar. Again, I think the referee's got that spot on. The half-time whistle does go. Oxford City do hold on to that lead at the interval. Josh Parker's goal, the difference between the two sides at the break. I think the referee's got that spot on again. The Oxford City players weren't happy with that. They wanted a booking for match Kretschmar, but I think the referee's got that right. Nevertheless, City ahead at the break through Josh Parker's earlier shot that snuck through the palm of Marcus Dewhurst. But it's been a really entertaining game here at the Royal Charging Stadium. Still a long way to go in this one. Half time here. We'll see you back in 15 minutes. Oxford City 1, Wealdstone 0.
And as you heard in the National League, Oxford City 1, Wealdstone 0. National League North result, Gloucester 1, Brackley 1. Banbury United against Hereford. The pitch is underwater again at the Banbury Plant Hard Community Stadium. It's another fixture to fit in for Kevin Wilson's beleaguered Banbury United. This is BBC Radio Oxford Sport. Half-time then here at the Crowd Meadow, 0-0 between Shrewsbury Town and Oxford United. A curate's egg of a performance from United in the first half. Nick Harris watching remotely back in Oxfordshire. What did you make of it?
Exactly that, Jerome, and I hope United don't rue those missed chances when they really were not in control of the game, but they had a fair bit of possession and they did have the chances. A lot of long balls from United early on, looking for Murphy, Harris and Dale to run onto, with Shrewsbury playing such a high line, and those three chances came. Harris onto a Rodriguez ball, a good shot from the right. It was saved by keeper Morosi's legs. 2 minutes later, Dale, left foot shot, saved by the keeper. And then in the 27th minute, Dunkley Rodriguez shot off the line. But you just had the feeling just before then the game was beginning to change. And it was United that were providing Shrewsbury with the chances. They were losing that midfield battle. They were giving the ball away too much. Winchester in midfield was driving forward. O'Brien and Dunkley had chances. And as I say, well, it was all a little bit predictable, bit pedantic towards the end, and disappointing after being, having those chances to really get in front and cement their way into this game. It's going to be a very interesting second half, but United have got to liven it up.
Yeah, they do, Nick, don't they? Because, they clearly have what it takes to open up Shrewsbury, and they'll be disappointed that Bodin arriving at the far post to a ball right across the box didn't get there, that Harris saw his shot saved, that Dunkley's made a block in this game as well. Decent chances for United, but they probably haven't been creating as many chances as they should, given how porous the Shrewsbury defence has looked.
Yeah, I mean, for a bit of pace and playing, as Eddie was saying, playing United playing the long balls in, because Shrewsbury playing such a high line, and United have got pacey players, haven't they? They got Murphy down the left, they got Dale right, and Harrison. The chances did come their way, but United, well, it wasn't a downfall because it's 0-0, but United's problems really came from their own making. They gave the ball away in midfield far too often, and that's what created the chances for Shrewsbury. O'Brien really should have scored. Douglas had 2 headers. Don't give him a third, because I can promise you he will put that away. The other half-time scores, have gone well for United so far, but they have got to liven it up.
James is worried. It looks like it's got 0-0 written all over it. Marcus says we should be out of sight. Bowden's been poor. Rodriguez, standard performance. How does he keep starting? Oxford exiling Cologne. We have to put at least 50% of the chances away. We can't keep missing opportunities like that. Why can't Brown pass the ball, says Ed Wilmot. Well, he made one of the passes of the half, but I know what you're saying, that sometimes it takes a little bit to get going. I feel a little bit, because probably too much from an Oxford United point of view. Eddie's come through, particularly Brown in the centre of defence. He shouldn't be seeing as much of the ball as he is if United really click it.
Quite right. The responsibility should go to those ones in front of him. That's who he should be finding, and it's probably what that is highlighting the fact that he's not got the options there to do that simple pass. Centre back shouldn't be having to do Hollywood balls and eye of the needle passes. That's for the Bowdens and Rodriguez's and Brannigans of this world. So what he needs is that simple pass into midfield and then get back to defending.
81333, start your text with the word Oxford at BBC Oxford Sport if you want to get involved on social media. Nick, United do have, and I know this is kind of, you love kind of looking at the bench and the options available to them. You do look at the 2 benches and feel that United have more off the bench potentially than the Shrews do.
Yeah, I certainly do, Jerome, and be honest, in that last 20 minutes of the first half, you feel do it at half time. I don't think Des Buckingham will do that, but there will be changes, I think, if things don't improve. Marcus Brown, it's time for Marcus Brown. He played the 45 minutes against Southampton in the friendly. He came on against Port Vale. He knows what he can do. Goodrum, we know, can score all important goals. And Lee, well, yeah, you can play him, further forward down the left. You can play him at left back. But I would say Marcus Brown and Goodrum they've got to do something about that midfield. They are being bullied in there, not outplayed, but they give the ball away too much, and they're being a little bit outnumbered with the way that the Shrewsbury have lined up.
We're going to talk inevitably about what Marcus Brown might be able to do, what Goodrum might be able to do, Eddie. Maybe for Dale and Murphy, who you want to be able to go again on Monday, and you don't want to think too much about Monday when today is still to be sorted out. But actually, is today a game, or some of today, going to be a game for Josh McEachran, given the way we feel you could open up Shrewsbury?
So yeah, I was going to lean towards even James Henry going in there, just playing alongside Brannigan, so it can take just so he can share the load a bit and clear some space, because at the moment the 2 high 10s are just getting in each other's way in a little bit, or attracting too many defenders into an area and keeping it too tight.
I hope we don't regret the missed chances. Rodriguez has lost the ball at every opportunity, and it's been the same for weeks, says Pete. Every chance they get is from him giving the ball away. The biggest positive for me is that we're in the league rather than being a point above the relegation zone. Where we are in the league rather than being a point above the relegation zone is based on the first half. I wouldn't fancy our chances of staying up, says Arthur Yellow. We need 3 points against the easier opposition. Let's hope we can change it up in the second half. Not a great first half, says Andy. Still a great deal to play for. Harris is a real issue, says Ash, offering nothing. Keeps dropping deep when we've got Rodriguez and Bowden there. Same old story, not good enough, says Andy's Chocolate Orange. No drive, passion, desire or game plan. Therefore, no chance of the playoffs. Wants a change of manager. Luke says poor first half, passive again. Bowden offering nothing. Brown can't play a long ball to quote save his life. Boring Buckingham ball. And Kieran indeed got sick of the over the top balls. Poor setup once again. That comes from Des. We need Brown and Lee on at half time. Brown to win it for the Yellows. Boring. It sounds like a boring mid of the table end of season game, says Railway Colin. And Nick Harris has pretty much described the first half of most games this season. Fortunately, we're not behind. This is from Cutslow Yellow, but some of our second half performances have been truly top 6 stuff. The only thing I'd say to that is I hope you're right, but I'd also say that you go to the League One half-time table, i.e. if all matches finished after 45 minutes, where would Oxford United be? It's a better position than where they are now. Automatic promotion places, if not top. But now United need to turn it around in the second half, or get going in the second half. 0-0 here, 1-0 to Oxford City on the BBC Sounds game against Wealdstone in the National League. That's about to restart. Shrewsbury Town against Oxford United also about to get underway. The City game on BBC Sounds, the Oxford United game on the radio, and the second half action is next.
Every kick, tackle and goal.
And Parker cuts inside. Parker's in here, and City have made it 4-0.
All the action is just moments away.
And it's been taken. All the goals running in.
Banbury United, champions of the Southern League, Premier Division Central.
And we are underway.
This is BBC Radio Oxford Sport.
Okay, welcome back to the Raw Charging Stadium, where Oxford City take a 1-0 lead into the second half, and we're back underway here. What a really entertaining first half, which was actually played under mostly sunshine, and since then we've had a big rainbow over the Raw Charging Stadium, and now the heavens have opened. So we've had a complete... Well, we've completed the weather today, to be honest. We only need snow and sleet, and then that's every single weather condition here. It is really hammering it down. And the beauty of non-league football, and the fact that this game isn't segregated, is that we can see how many Wealdstone fans have made the journey. They're all crammed inside the Cypher stand to our right, and these players are getting absolutely soaked. But here comes City in this second half with Coyle, just about keeps the ball inside the box. Cross across goal, cut out by James Cook, and eventually he can steer his side up the pitch. No changes from either side that I've seen so far. I've not seen the ball. In fact, there is a change, because I've just seen the man on the ball and running onto the ball now. Manny Duku tries to beat Giles Phillips in the rain and the sun as this completely weird day continues here. But here's Greenslade. He's got Parker ahead of him if he can pick him out, but he can't quite pick up his head just in time to find the striker. Another frantic start to this second half. I've got Rennie Smith back with me, and this is the great thing about having players as co-commentators. Rennie, have you been in the dressing room at half-time? I'll break across goal, looking for Dooku. I'm not quite sure who's gone off for him yet. I'll bring that news to you in a moment. But, you've been in there. Without giving too much away, what's Ross Jenkins said?
No, he pretty much said what we said about the pressing. He said the first 10-15 minutes we let them have the ball too much, let them play it around, and he noted, around the 20-minute mark, 25-minute mark, we started to get a little bit more pressure on that ball, and that's what led ultimately to the goal, and it was clear to see. I think he also mentioned we're looking dangerous at set pieces, so pretty much agreeing with what we were mentioning earlier in the first half.
All of which I would also agree with as well. A City searching now as the sun has come back out. It's starting to drizzle a little bit. Goals going in across the National League as well. City will be hoping that a couple of northern teams get sucked into that relegation battle to help their decision. They don't know whether they're going to be in the north or the south next season. If two northern teams or more northern teams and City go down with them, there's a pretty solid chance that they'll be in the south next season, which is a lot less travelling. The other way around, they'll probably be in the north, which is, put it this way, a lot of travelling. But at the moment, York behind to the champions Chesterfield. Woking losing to Eastleigh 1-0. Oldham losing 3-1 at home to AFC Fylde. But I'll break as here comes Wealdstone. But that ball runs out of play. Oldham chucking away their playoff hopes. Kidderminster 1, Altrincham 1. A big game at both ends of the table. Kidderminster trying to survive. Altrincham trying to get that last playoff place. Gateshead beating Rochdale. Ebbsfleet losing to Southend. Dorking losing to Bromley, all by 1-0. And probably the most eye-catching result at half-time. Boreham Wood 1, Dagenham and Redbridge 4. Boreham Wood's troubles continuing at the moment, but here at the Roar Charging Stadium, it's Oxford City 1, Wealdstone 0. Up in Shropshire, it's Shrewsbury 0, Oxford United 0. That's on 95.2 FM or Freeview Channel 722 if you want to listen to that one. The other local kick-off earlier finished Gloucester City 1, Brackley 1. But here come Wealdstone on the right with Obiero. Into Tracy Cisse. Dyer now, 25 yards out from goal, works the ball to the left with Bundle Smith, just tries to feed in the substitute Dooku, but can't quite. Dooku coming on, and he's had a really good season. Dooku is signed from Maidstone United and was part of that amazing FA Cup run that they were in, playing at Ipswich and scoring a couple of goals in that as well. Eventually they came unstuck to Coventry City. But a really good run nonetheless from the Kent side, and he's earned a move up the pyramid. But City's challenge is to keep themselves ahead in this game. I'm still not quite sure who Dooku's replaced here. I'm just trying to scan across goal. It looks as though De Silva's made way. So Dylan De Silva off, Dooku on, but it's Wealdstone that are coming out of the traps here, and Alarakia's in, and Alarakia is stopped in his tracks by a perfectly timed sliding challenge from Giles Phillips. Again, Alarakia is the man, the danger man for Wealdstone, and he looked as though for a split second he was about to pull the trigger until Giles Phillips did that. Another corner to Wealdstone, 5 minutes into this second half, right in front of the travelling fans, expectant travelling fans. Corner taken short. Here to Tracy Cisse. Alarakia, he's got his back towards goal. Dyer looking for a move. And he has one in Alarakia, but Josh Ashby does well to just shield his man out. And City can counter-attack here. Ball over the top, and Tafari Moore will chase, and he'll latch onto it. Has to beat Bowen here. He's got O'Connell as well making a run in front of him. The two defensive players for City doing all the running there, but eventually Tafari Moore, all that hard work is undone, as there's no option on for him, and eventually the ball's nicked off his feet. Frantic start to this second half, but again sloppy ball this time from Wealdstone, and City have the ball with Kresnik. Ashby moves away from Dyer into Parker, who's drifted out onto this left hand side here, almost playing like a left wing back, because Lewis Coyle's playing ahead of him. Now he makes a run forward, bursting beyond the line, wanted a ball across the top. Charlie O'Connell decided against that. Just heard a shout behind me, Rennie. That was a great run from Josh Parker. If Charlie O'Connell could have picked him out, they were in there. But I'll break, because here come Wealdstone again. But Alarakia isn't getting much luck in this second half. Fleet to Coyle. Got a couple of options ahead of him, Coyle in Ashby and Parker. Uses the latter. He's stayed onside Parker. Back to Ashby, right on the edge of the area. Shapes for a shot, but there's no angle. To Fleet, keeps it moving onto this left-hand side with Parker. Into Coyle, shapes for a cross. Good move from Oxford City. Good block by Jack Cook, the Wealdstone captain. For Oxford City have their first corner of the second half. Good move that the hoops running.
Yeah, that heavy downpour over the half-time seemed to pick up the pace a little bit here on the artificial grass surface. The ball's moving quicker, and it's shown in the play.
So a corner here to Oxford City, which Josh Ashby will trudge over to take. And I've just had a tweet as well from our club poet, actually, Rowan Wallow, saying, you just had to mention Maidstone beating Ipswich in the FA Cup, didn't you? I'm really sorry, Rowan. Who's obviously... he's got dual loyalties, being an Ipswich and Oxford City fan, so sorry about that, Rowan, but he'll be very happy that Oxford City is still ahead in this game. 53 minutes on the clock, and they have a corner here. The referee keeping a keen eye on goings on in the box. Ashby to take, puts his hand in the air, crossed in towards the box, looking for Phillips, he gets his head to it again. But this time, it's taken a nick off a yellow shirt. Again, Phillips has his head in his hands. So close to finding the net there.
Another big chance off a set piece there for Oxford City.
Well, you were saying that Ross Jenkins said at the having look at set pieces, they have been really threatening from set pieces. Not been all that way in this season. Definitely has been in this game. So close to Giles Phillips, who on another day could have had his second goal of the game there. Another corner for City, and another chance for Josh Ashby here to deliver in across. Floats one into the 6-yard box. Again, Giles Phillips is the man lingering inside the 6-yard box. That time Marcus Dewhurst is in charge of his box and claims the ball well. Here's Cisse now. Looking for an option here. Dyer. Closed down by Ronaldo Krasnicki. Cook sprays the ball across. Looking for a way forward, Wealdstone, but when you're playing against a team that are ahead and keeping shape as well as Oxford City, it's difficult, as City have found out this season. Again, City in duos, hunting down the yellow shirts and winning the ball back as high up the field as they can. O'Connell finds Greenslade, who's in a good area, but he's got his back towards goal, so invites Lewis Coyle, who's swapped wings with Tafari Moore on this right side here. Coyle sends a shot towards goal, stinging effort, never really finding the target. Marcus Dewhurst more than happy to let that drift wide, but it's a not a bad effort from Lewis Coyle there, and there has been a goal in Shropshire. Shrewsbury Town 0, Oxford United 1. The Yellows take the lead up in League One. Meanwhile here, the Yellows are on the attack with Kretschmar. He's got Dooku in the area. Chance here! And he's just strayed offside there, Dooku. But I don't think Tom Watson would have known that. And he's made a strong save, the Wigan Loney. Really good save to deny Dooku. Wouldn't known he was offside. Fantastic save. Let off there for Oxford City. Meanwhile, what I was saying, Oxford United 1, Shrewsbury Town 0. Billy Bodin has got the goal for the Yellows after 54 minutes. That's over on 95.2 FM on Freeview Channel 722 to join Jerome and the team for that game. If you're tuning in to listen to Banbury against Hereford, that game was postponed this morning due to a waterlogged pitch. So we've got commentary here on BBC Radio Oxfordshire of Oxford City versus Wealdstone. It's Josh Parker's first half goal that has the hoops ahead here. O'Connell brings the ball into the Wealdstone half. Here's Josh Parker now, looking for an option. Doesn't have any ahead of him, so he'll be more than happy to invite Giles Phillips to spray the ball across to Tafari Moore. Again, the rain has tucked inside again, and it's a really sunny day. Fleet plays a ball down the right wing, which Harvey Greenslade will chase. He's not had too much of the ball this afternoon, Harvey Greenslade. Not through the lack of trying, though. And pens Wealdstone right into that corner. 10 minutes into this second half gone. Again, an evenly contested half, Rennie.
Yeah, it's we've had a bit of a spell the last 5 or so minutes in possession. We've up the pitch, have possession now in the middle half of the pitch, and we're doing what Wealdstone did to us in the first 10 minutes of the game.
Absolutely, like almost the opposite of what happened in the first half. But here's O'Connell. City moving the ball well, easy for me to say, round the back, but they can't quite work their way forward quickly enough to start an attack. Andre Burley, a throw-in down the line. Harvey Greenslade shrugged off the ball. He wants a free kick, not given. So the ball trickles into the feet of Dewhurst. Out of his feet, Charlie O'Connell wins the header, and there's Josh Parker, free and ready to take that down. Moore round the corner looking for Ashby, but a really good sliding challenge from Jack Cook. If he didn't do that, Ashby was in. Alarakia now. Since Dooku, who's on the ball now, has come on, Wealdstone look a lot more threatening. Ball on the edge to Cisse. Looking for an option. Obiero on the right, crossing towards the box. There's no one there to meet it. Burley's header picked up midway through the half by Dyer. Again, looking for an option. Obiero again. He's got to get past two hoop shirts though. Has to cut back. Cisse crossing towards the box. Right idea from Cisse, but it's never finding Alarakia or Dooku at the back post, and instead goes into the grateful grasp of Tom Watson, who will take crosses like that every day of the week.
Yeah, we're looking compact there, low in the pitch, but very compact. Wealdstone finding it difficult to break us down, and they don't seem to have many options there up front, Wealdstone, to really penetrate our goal.
Coyle now, looking for an option, has one in Josh Parker. They are struggling, aren't they? But you just know that in the National League, there's just a little bit of quality that can destroy you. Alarakia tries to feed through Dooku, but again, can't quite control it, the striker. It goes out for... into Tom Watson. Again, coming forward here, Wealdstone. It's relentless pressure from them, but at the moment they can't find a way past the City defence, and they won't do with crosses like that. Kreshmar with a rather lazy cross into the box, but there's no one there attacking it. Tom Watson, more than happy, like we just said seconds ago, just more than happy to claim that and collect it. You just wonder, as we go over the hour mark here, almost, when that will start to change for Wealdstone, when they're going to have to start being a little bit better with their quality. So 60 minute, we're into the 60th minute of this one. You're listening to BBC Radio Oxford on the BBC Sports website or BBC Sounds. It's currently Oxford City 1, Wealdstone 0. Josh Parker's first half goal, the difference between the two sides already. If you're tuning in to listen to Banbury against Hereford, that was called off due to a waterlogged pitch earlier. Meanwhile, in Shropshire, it's currently Shrewsbury Town 0, Oxford United 1. That's on 95.2 FM on your digital radios or Freeview Channel 722. Meanwhile here, brilliant turn from Josh Parker. He beat his man with just a sheer skill, didn't he there? And City have a corner.
Little pirouette, Maradona skill. Nice to see there on the right-hand side, winning a corner for the team.
Another corner though, Rennie. Again, I think these last two, Giles Phillips has been the man to watch. So I'm going to keep my eye firmly on Giles Phillips, who's had 3 opportunities in this game and will probably, well, he'll be very disappointed not to at least have 1 goal to his name. It's been that sort of game for him. They'll have to learn their lessons though, Wealdstone, because Phillips has had a number of opportunities, as has Krasnicki and Josh Parker, who's got the goal. They're all in that sort of love train, if you like, the England sort of Euros one we saw a few tournaments back. Crossed in by Ashby, looking for someone, but it's cleared away by Cook. The loose ball picked up on by the Peterborough United loanee Charlie O'Connell. Cross back in towards the box. That time it's Lewis Coyle's cross that goes safely into the arms of Dewhurst. Out of his feet quickly. But again, I don't think the Wealdstone fans will be too happy with that. Straight out of his feet. There's a Wealdstone, I think it's a member of the Wealdstone coaching staff actually here, who's just screaming at Marcus Dewhurst, and I don't blame him, because he's done that all too quickly, all too eager to start a counter-attack, and in doing so he's just booted the ball out for an Oxford City throw-in.
Yeah, it's not an easy ball, that. A long ball down the field. You've got to be really accurate, which he wasn't there.
That's a Rennie Smith ball we need, you know. We can pick one of them out. The voice of Rennie Smith you can hear beside me today, not in the City squad today, but joining me on co-coms. And as we've been saying, City playing well in this one, but that 1-goal lead is a fragile one. They have to keep going in this one as we go deep into the Good Friday football here of the Easter weekend. City with 2 games in 4 days to play. You can also listen to to City's game on Monday as they travel away to high-flying Barnet in the National League. That's also going to be live on BBC Sounds. And Barnet winning a rather big game away at Solihull Moors at the minute 2-1. So again, another big game. And City, as I said in the first half, they can have a big say on other teams' futures. With the way the results are going in and around the National League, Wealdstone are in a pretty good position to survive, but they're not out of it by any means. Kreshmar almost nicks the ball off Krasnicki, but he does well, the midfielder, to keep the ball in City's possession. Moore jinked one way and then another. Tries to dart for the byline, but Alex Dyer won't let him get there. Wealdstone win the ball back. Alarakia nips round. He's a really nippy player, Alarakia, but he's not. He's just that extra little inch that he's not had today due to City's hard work and determination, but he might just get that now because there's a chance here for Wealdstone. Kreshmar into Dooku, in on goal! Heavy touch by the striker. If it was just an inch softer, you would have expected the net to bulge there, but Tom Watson would have been very thankful that he did take that heavy touch, Dooku, and he collects the ball. Wealdstone coming closer in this one. Still City 1, Wealdstone 0 though. Few groans starting to happen around the Royal Charging Stadium if you're from a Stones perspective. They're readying another double change. They're about to make their final throw of the dice. Meanwhile, Andre Burley is down Is he going to receive treatment here? There's going to be a substitution though for City as well. And it is Andre Burley who's going to make way. I think he must have picked up a little bit of an injury there. So substitution for City, the first of the game, 65 minutes on the clock. Andre Burley off. Harry Birtwistle is going to replace him, the full-back and the loanee on loan from Wolverhampton Wanderers. Replaces him. I imagine that will be... Is that maybe perhaps a little tweak there as well? There's going to be another change as well for Wealdstone. So
looks
coming...
like Taff has gone into this the right side of a three at the back line. Harry's then gone over to the right wing back position.
Perhaps a little bit of unknown territory there. Meanwhile, there's going to be a couple of changes for Wealdstone, and the number 10's been shown here by the fourth official, and he is going to go off Max Kretschmar. So Kretschmar makes way for Wealdstone, replacing him with Brandon Mason. So that's the first change, and I wonder whether we're about to see another notable name coming on here. I'm just waiting for the fourth official's board, and the other change is Mika Obiero off. I'm just waiting to see the shirt number to see who's come on. I think it might be Nathan Ferguson, but don't quote me on that until I see his shirt number. In fact, Brandon Mason's the one I'm on about, so Mason's definitely on. Obiero's off, and it's actually Toby Adiemo who's on, the Watford loanee. But here comes City again. Lewis Coyle manages to latch onto that at the byline. Keeps it in. Has Parker in support. Parker pushed off by his man. But City win the ball back in the corner. Fleet now. Ashby. Fleet looking for a runner. Has one in Ashby. Cross across goal. Looking for Greenslade. Still not out. Coyle. And eventually Tracy Cisse makes an important block.
Yeah, it was a clever little 1-2 down the left side here with Ashby and Fleety joining up. Clever little dink ball in behind the Wealdstone defence from Fleet. And again, another corner.
So just to clear up any confusion, Toby Adiemo, the striker on loan from Watford, is on, as is Brandon Mason. And half-time change from Manny Duku. They're the three that have come on for Wealdstone. So a chance here from another set piece for City. Josh Ashby over it, puts the ball in the quadrant, hand in the air. Everyone apart from Tafari Moore inside the box. Floated in towards the area. Beats one, but doesn't beat Cook. He flicks it on with his head. Here's Duku. Hits the ball forward. Not a bad idea either. But didn't quite have the placement on that, and that's going to trickle into the hands of Tom Watson, who will take every second in receiving it. Moore, ball forward. Parker could latch onto this. Dewhurst, brilliant composure from the Wealdstone keeper. Could have got that all wrong, but managed to beat Parker to the ball, and more importantly, keep control of the ball. Good goalkeeping. Parker. And the Rhinesman's flag, rather late, I would say, goes up. I thought Parker had just staved off the offside call. Nevertheless, Marcus Dewhurst had to get that right, because if not, he's probably bringing down Parker and denying a goal-scoring opportunity, which we all know is a red card. But good goalkeeping from Dewhurst there.
Slight change of shape from Wealdstone here, I think. They've gone to a back three themselves.
They've gone
possibly to match our formation.
Yeah, they've gone two up top as well. Krasnicki shapes her ball down the line. Well cut out by Alex Dyer, the defensive midfielder. I think that's what we've seen, obviously, with... They signed Adiemo from Watford yesterday. Scored on his debut in the FA Cup at Vicarage Road. I just saw the goal yesterday, and when he scored, he couldn't quite believe it, scoring on his senior debut. He's a player that will want to prove himself, and he's got an opportunity to do that on his debut here at the Royal Charging Stadium. But he'll have to link up well with Duku, who's had his opportunities in this game, but not been able to take one and fashion a chance just yet. Meanwhile, I'm just looking in front of the Macron stand, and Andre Burley in his orange bib is going to go straight down the tunnel as instructed by the physio. I think he's just picked up something, Andre Burley. Hopefully nothing too serious. Fingers crossed that is more of a precautionary sub. Meanwhile, Ashby takes no prisoners as Jack Cook delayed his pass, and Ashby gets the tackle right and sends it out for a Wealdstone throw, but Cook just slightly dawdling on the ball there and inviting Ashby to make the challenge. Had to get it right. Dyer now, Alarakia, what can he do? Inside the centre circle, pass intercepted from Giles Phillips. Parker shapes and makes a run beyond the back line. He'll get there as well. On the right wing now, needs support, Josh Parker. Has Birtwistle showing for him. I think he's just shown a little bit too late, but he keeps it alive. Fleet now has the ball nicked off his toes, and Wealdstone can come forward now. It's been a little bit sloppy this second half on both teams when they're coming forward. Dyer, clipped by Ashby. Free kick. Is there going to be anything more than that? No. Referee happy to let play continue. Cook takes a touch and brings the ball across the halfway line. He'll keep going, Cook. Options ahead of him. Pass, drops to Cook. Good save. Parried out by Tom Watson. The centre half just kept going. And eventually, when the ball rebounded to him, his shot was parried away by Watson. Danger not over yet, though. Alarakia jinks onto his right. Shot towards goal. Blocked behind by Giles Phillips. A corner to Wealdstone. And as you can probably hear, those Wealdstone fans behind the goal getting behind their team. They sense that they can get something from this game.
It was a marauding run from the centre-back there right into Oxford City's box. Could have been a 70-yard run.
It probably was, wasn't it? He really just kept going all the way. Good
fell
challenge.
onto his left foot, though. It was the wrong foot.
Perhaps just the wrong. Maybe if he had that shot with his right, we would have been talking about a goal or an even better save from Tot Watson. But he did make a good save, the Wigan loanee. Nevertheless, corner now, and a big opportunity that Wealdstone have to take. Floated in towards the box, but it's straight at Tom Watson, who takes a couple of opportunities. I think the referee's blown for a foul in there. Very crowded inside the 6-yard box, but the referee was certainly sure about it. I think a few handbags after, a few words said between the two. Nevertheless, free kick for Oxford City. Tom Watson impressing again, commanding his area. Just looking back at that opportunity there for Cook. Came close. Just wonder in these last 20 minutes of this game whether Wealdstone will have just that little bit more quality as the game goes on. Still, Oxford City 1, Wealdstone 0. As is the scoreline in Shropshire. Shrewsbury 0, Oxford United 1. 5.2 FM or Freeview Channel 722. The commentary of that game. Banbury's game against Hereford in National League North postponed today, so commentary here from the National League tie between City and Wealdstone. Fleet sticks a leg out and wins the ball back for City. Brilliant ball forward from Coyle. Ashby will latch onto it. Heavy touch, but rescues it and stops it from going out of play. City on this left-hand side looking for an option. Neat link-up play here. Coyle, cross in towards the box, and in the end, it's towards no hoop shirts, and Dewhurst will pluck that out of the air and roll the ball straight out to try and start another attack here. It's a big game for Wealdstone. Again, I'll reiterate, 3 points for them would probably put 1 foot in the National League next season. The score stays the same. Well, if the score stays the same, they're still looking pretty good, to be fair to them, but you just want that sort of bumper, don't you, ahead of the relegation zone, and 3 points or maybe even a point for them would go a long way as we get to this business end of the season. Unfortunately for Oxford City, they will be playing 6th tier football next season, not through the lack of trying. Perhaps things haven't quite gone their way this season, but they are playing like a team that still have everything to fight for, and in their minds they do. Moore wins the ball, finds Harry Birtwistle. Moore continues his run. Birtwistle finds him. Moore, his cross slams into the back of Mundell Smith. Throw in from City. Positive stuff here, but they need to create a chance. They need to fashion something. You get the impression, Rennie, that they need another goal.
Yeah, 1-0 is always dangerous. Wealdstone seeming to look like they're losing their legs a little bit in this second half, giving the ball away cheaply. Oxford City seeming to have the better of the opportunity so far.
Here's Parker, ushered away from goal, but manages to stave off the challenges from his men, but eventually loses out. They're a throw in. I wonder if that's something to do with the part-time nature of these two teams, Rennie. I mean, it's difficult, isn't it, when you train a lot less and you have less sessions than the full-time teams. It is difficult.
Yeah, we have a game today. Our next game is on Monday. In between, we don't train.
Good move this, though, to interrupt you, Rennie, but eventually Reece Fleet takes a nick off Jack Cook. I thought for a moment City were in there, but Cook, I thought the referee was about to blow for a free kick. In fact, he's given a corner to Oxford City. Opportunity here.
Yeah, going back to your previous point, it's difficult. We have the game on the Saturday, another game on the Monday. No training between, or no recovery or any analysis at all. It's tough. And the difference is a team like Chesterfield will come in the day after for recovery, look at the game, and then do analysis on the game ahead. So
absolutely. But an opportunity here for City. Ashby with the corner. Out-swinging cross, headed away by a yellow shirt first, and Al-Arakia picks up on the ball just outside his own box. Wealdstone will try and build and counter here, but they just can't seem to get past the City midfield. Coyle goes down off the ball, but he's straight back onto his feet to continue that high press. City pressing from the front, and they're doing well, but eventually Ashby is deemed to have fouled, I think, the substitute, Brandon Mason there. Again, we're seeing we're not seeing too much of it in the second half, but City pressing when their opponents have the ball, and that's where they're getting their look. Long ball forward from Wealdstone, which Toby Adiemo will chase. He stops it from going out for a City goal kick, but instead just hits it out for a throw-in down by the corner flag. Good decision there from the Wealdstone striker, but 15 minutes to go in this one. Still Oxford City 1, Wealdstone 0. Your other local game earlier today finished Gloucester 1, Brackley Town 1. Brackley getting an 89th minute equaliser in that one through George Carline. Here, Wealdstone looking for a way back into it. Shot towards goal by Bowen, I think it was in the end.
Yeah, leaning back, always heading over that shot.
Yeah,
the midfielder.
Sam Bowen just having a go. In the end, didn't threaten Tom Watson at all. But I suppose it wasn't a bad area, really. I don't really blame him from shooting from there.
No, you don't shoot, you don't score. So,
talking about goals, Rennie, one to your name this season. Away at Dorking, a big goal as well, proved pivotal in around that time of the season. That must be a fond memory for you from this season.
It's always enjoyable to score a goal anyway, if it's a tap in from a yard or a 30-yard strike. So that was a great feeling.
Just play stopped here for an injury. I'm not sure what the referee's given, whether he's given a free kick and pulled it back, or he's just stopping the game for an injury. Referee just ushering Josh Ashby away. He's not happy. He wants them to play the ball back. It's going to be a drop ball. And he'll let Wealdstone continue with Alex Dyer. Alex Dyer's probably been one of Wealdstone's more solid players today. Seen a lot of the ball. Done well in breaking up play. But not quite worked out for his more attacking-minded players when they're coming forward. Ball into the air. Josh Parker can't quite bring the ball down. This game is really turning into a bitty affair. Wealdstone will come forward though. No shape down the left, but Tafari Moore's there. He's just trying to shepherd the ball out to Tafari Moore, but he's not going to. Manages to hook the ball down the line, but it's collected by Brandon Mason. Dyer now. Looking for an option. Has one in Al-Arakia, but it's a poor touch. It goes through to Lewis Coyle, who will make no chances with that. Clips the ball down the left channel, which will actually not bounce out for a throw-in, which it looked like it was going to do. Rescued by Jack Cook. Now's the time we'll start to see Wealdstone and what they're made of, David Noble's team. Mundell Smith. Over to Mason now. Al-Arakia. Bowen. Dyer now. They're moving the ball better. Over to the right. Ceesay's got Cook on his right, marauding forward from centre half. Cross in towards the box. Doesn't meet anyone. Chested forward by Birtwistle, but he's got the pace to get away, and City can counter-attack here. Birtwistle brings the ball across the halfway line. He's got Parker inside the box if he can find him, but his cross is rather easily headed away by Barker, but the danger's not over yet. Ashby darts towards the byline, will run up the byline and into the box. Ashby still going, pulls the ball across the 6-yard box, looking for Josh Parker. Cut out in the end. Really good run from Josh Ashby. Close for City. He was getting pulled back there, Ashby. Just wonder if he could have gone down. But he stayed honest. Almost picked out Parker, which would almost certainly have been 2-0. That was a really good counter-attacking move, Rennie.
Just kept going and going, didn't he, Ashby? And no one could bring him down, and he kept going along the byline. And a great little cutback. Unfortunate for no one was there. But again, another corner.
Another corner, again, we'll reiterate. City need to make the most of these. Again, everyone apart from Tafari Moore in and around the box. The referee's just going to delay this corner from being taken as he's having a word with a couple of Wealdstone defenders and Oxford City attackers. Doing the old, I'm watching you. None of that. Nevertheless, second chance now. Ashby puts the ball on the quadrant again. Arm in the air. Charlie O'Connell shakes for the short one. And he almost gets it, headed towards goal by
Arnaldo,
I think it was Arnaldo Krasnicki. And there's a bit more of a tussle inside the box. We're going to have to stop the game here as the ball was in a completely different area to the 6-yard box, but there was a little bit of a tussle going on there. Completely missed it because I was following the ball, but let's have a look at that on the replay. I think the referee's going to have to get his card here. Not a bad move from Josh Ashby. The stream is a little bit behind. The referee did say he was watching that, so I think it's Harvey Greenslade and Josh Parker who have been attributed to have started something. Let's have a look at that again. So the corner's floated in. It's flicked away by Arnaldo Krasnicki, and there's a little bit of something going on in the box, but the camera doesn't actually quite pick it up. So whoever made that sort of challenge, I think, got away with one there, but I think it was just a bit of nothing really, Rennie. Two players pulling each other down and having a little bit to say to each other, but nevertheless, play continues. 9 minutes to go. Brilliant ball and a brilliant touch from Mason, and Wealdstone have an opportunity here. Alarakia inside the box, sorts his feet out, it drops to the back post, and Cisse has ballooned a right-footed shot over the crossbar when you would expect the net to bulge. What an opportunity that was for the away side, right in front of the travelling Wealdstone fans. Cisse looks to the sky, he knows he should have done better there. Wow, what an opportunity that was, Rennie Smith.
He was free on the back post. Ball was worked well to him from Alarakia again. Found himself with a few yards of space, and he's just ballooned a side-footed shot well over the bar and the stadium.
It was, yeah, but meanwhile, Oxford City making another change. Harvey Greenslade off, Jacob Roddy on. So attacker off, defender on for Oxford City. An opportunity here for Jacob Roddy. He's back on after that injury he sustained at Fylde. He left Mill Farm in crutches, Jacob Roddy. I think that was just precautionary, but nevertheless, good to see him back here. He's got some defending to do as well, because it's Wealdstone who are looking likely to score an equaliser here, which would be massive for them. Even a point at this stage with the way results are going in the National League. Boreham Wood still losing 4-1. All, apart from Oxford City, the rest of the bottom four are all losing. York are drawing at home to the champions Chesterfield, who perhaps they're all hungover from those title celebrations that seem to go on for a week. Here's Coyle. Fleet looking for Ashby, who just loses his footing. Alarakia now moves the ball onto Cisse, who just missed that big chance. Alarakia on the right, he's got to beat Roddy and Coyle, but he sends a good ball into Bowen. Krasnicki shoves him off the ball and eventually hits the ball out. Good defending from Krasnicki. Wealdstone's, well, it just goes to show how tight the National League table is, because they looked pretty good before this game, Wealdstone. When you look at the teams that are in and around it, you think, will they get dragged into it? I'm not quite sure. Well, they are getting dragged into it. They need a point at the very least to put a little bit of a buffer between them, because as it stands, there's only 3 points between them and the drop zone. Big last 7 minutes for them. If results are to change elsewhere, it might look a little bit worse for them. Krasnicki cuts out that ball. It is all Wealdstone at the moment, though. Corner again, 6 to go. Alex Dyer to take the corner now. Everyone up pretty much. Just a couple of players lingering on the edge. Dyer, in-swinging ball in towards box, and it's again not away from goal. And again, an opportunity missed. I think the linesman's flag stayed down. And I think it's Manny Duku at the back post who's stuck a leg at a shot. It all happened all of a sudden, but I just wonder whether they should have done better with that, Wealdstone, because they kept it alive through Cook. The ball went all the way across to the back post, and a shot was stabbed and fired ferociously towards goal. It hit the side netting in the end. I thought that was about to be the equaliser there, Rennie. Did you get a better view of it?
Yeah, it was a let-off there, a big opportunity.
Oh, looking back at the replay, it is a big let-off. Wow, what a miss. That should have been 1-1. It really should have, but that won't put off Wealdstone. They'll come forward again through Cisse. Inside the City half. Duku lets it run, and Phillips will swipe it away. The goal is gaping. He has missed an open net, Duku. What a chance that was. The ball goes across the box again. Brilliant play from Alarakia to keep it alive. It looked easier to score, and he's missed it. Nevertheless, that won't put Wealdstone off, but they'll keep coming forward. Dyer. They'll come forward again. They're not letting that put them off. Here's Mason. Down the left. Cross in towards goal. Again, Giles Phillips stands up to the challenge to send it out for a throw-in. Throw in here. Midway through the Oxford City half. Just wondering, I think Giles Phillips is just down here, nursing an injury.
Looks like he's got a bit of cramp.
Yeah, I think so. I think the referee's happy to continue here. Brooklyn Cabangolo's been ordered to warm up. Cross slapped against Josh Ashby's right foot. Hooked away by Josh Parker. Again, City are in a position where they can collect points in the National League. It's not quite gone their way in the last 5 with just a solitary point. They deserve something. They deserve at least 1 maximum points from these from the games they've had. Against Rochdale in particular, Rennie, which a game you were involved in. Defending astutely, attacking well, worked the socks off. Same can be said against AFC Fylde.
We had a number of games during the season where we could have picked up points and didn't, and which was frustrating. So yeah, hopefully we can come away today with the 3 points. Again,
Krasnicki hits it away. There's a tense atmosphere here with the Wealdstone fans. They know how big this game is, and perhaps a few fans were just wondering, against an already relegated Oxford City, it would be a little bit more of a straightforward than it has been. Alarakia. Bowen keeps coming forward, but he's tracked back all the way by Josh Ashby. Barker. Bowen, they're continuing to move the ball around, but there's a block of hoop shirts they've got to beat. The substitute and Watford loanee Adeyemo moves the ball back. Barker inside the centre circle. Dyer's had to drop deep to receive the ball. What are they made of here, Wealdstone? Can they get a massive point here today? Ball forward. Again cut out from City. If they could get them on the counter-attack, there's another goal in this for them. Parker will try and just do that. And he's got Ronaldo Krasnicki in an acre of space. I don't think he was in the right position to pick Krasnicki out there. But if he did, he was in there, the midfielder. Dewhurst. Pressed all the way from Ashby, who Dewhurst goes down the Wealdstone keeper. I'm sure play will stop now that the Wealdstone keeper's down. A chance of shoot from the City players. The referee happy to continue whilst Dewhurst were down, as were Wealdstone, but as soon as possession switched over, he's stopping it. So, 2 minutes left plus stoppage time of this big game in the National League. Oxford City 1, Wealdstone 0. Josh Parker's goal still the difference between these two teams at the moment. In the other game here on BBC Radio, you're listening to BBC Radio Oxford, online or on BBC South. There's been a goal in Shropshire. Shrewsbury have equalised against Oxford United. Jack Price with the goal in that game. It's Shrewsbury 1, Oxford United 1. If you want to listen to the last few moments of that game, it's live on 95.2 FM or Freeview channel 722. In the earlier other local game in National League North, late goal from George Carline rescued a point for Brackley in a 1-1 draw against Gloucester City. Meanwhile, in the National League, City still having a big say, albeit not for themselves and other teams. They're dragging Wealdstone back into the battle with them. Cook receives the ball for Wealdstone and touches it into the City half. Cook finds Cisse, who has spurned the glorious opportunity, as has his teammates today. But they'll come forward. Dyer now. Ball forward again. Cross in towards the box. The appeals for handball, but if it did hit the hand of Tafari Moore, it was in a natural position. I thought it hit the chest as well. 4 minutes added on to this game. Wealdstone to try and nick what will be an important goal. Can they find it? Tom Watson goes down now. He's picked up an injury for City. The Wealdstone fans behind his goal aren't happy. They think he's a bit of gamesmanship there. It's been a bit of a bogey stadium for Wealdstone. Oxford City have won the last 3 league meetings here against Wealdstone, albeit in the National League South.
Looks like cramp again.
Yeah,
Tom's got.
It's been one of them games. City have had to defend for their lives another day.
Yeah, gone into a back 6 now. It looks.
Yeah, I think they're just City just defending, trying to get these 3 points, trying to finish the season on a high. But as it stands, Wealdstone are going to throw the kitchen sink at Oxford City in these last few minutes. If they could get a goal, even if it is to secure a point, it would be a massive point for them. It would give them a little bit more than the 3 points ahead of the drop zone. 4 points is 2 games, 3 points is 1 game. It's a big, big moment in their season, this. And there's going to be more additional time onto added time here. The fourth official indicated there would be 4 minutes. But I think we're going to get a few more of that because we've entered that and we've basically had no football. The clock's still ticking, of course. 2 minutes into added additional time, but we're probably looking more at the 96 marker when we finish. Tom Watson's back up and play is going to continue from this throw-in. Almost everyone up for Wealdstone. The referee just not happy with the foot. He's going to do a drop ball, in fact, sorry. Is it going to be uncontested or is City going to be allowed to take the ball? No, it's going to be uncontested, so Wealdstone are going to continue here. City are going to charge it down as soon as though. Mason now. What is City made of? Can they continue to keep them at bay? Dyer works forward, over to the left. Mundell Smith now. Shapes, cross towards goal! Cleared. Just. Burt Whistle by the corner flag. Smashes the ball as far down the pitch as he can. And Parker receives it. He's got Ashby running on his right, but can't quite pick him out. Again, Parker wins the ball. Krasnicki will keep hustling and harrying, but Wealdstone keep the composure and will continue to come forward now with Cisse. Cross into the box, headed towards goal. O'Connell heads it away. Jacob Roddy will latch onto it first and he'll smash it down, but Parker could run onto this, chests it down. He wants to push in the back. The referee right behind it has to be said, gives nothing. The Oxford City bench aren't happy either. Chance missed. Alarakia comes forward, pokes the ball ahead of him to Adeyemo. Looking for an option to try and beat Ashby. Dyer shows for him. clips a cross into the box, but there's Tom Watson, goes down, is not collected, ball hooked into the air by Phillips. City can't clear their lines, still bouncing around in the area. Still, and Krasnicki hooks it away. Relentless, desperate stuff from the Stones, but they will keep coming. Dyer, cross again, headed into the air by Duku. Coyle will contest the header, but can't quite get there. So will Fleet. Now Roddy will, and Roddy will find O'Connell. Again looking for the outlet in Josh Parker, but again the ball down to Marcus Dewhurst. I think we've got about 2, possibly 3 minutes left of stoppages. Dyer, deep in. Cook's playing as a striker now. He's staying up there for the Stones. Bowen, who scored twice in the reverse fixture. Could he be the hero for them today? Mundell-Smith, back to Dyer. Good defending from City still. If they were to concede, it would be a real shame because they defended really well today. Alarakia now. Cross in towards the box. Cook's there, but so is Tom Watson, who goes down. Free kick to Oxford City. Perhaps a little bit of a frustrated challenge there in the end. And Tom Watson looks in some pain. There's going to be an extra stoppage to this game. If City can hang on, it will be their first win since January. That 1-0 victory here against Ebbsfleet. Meanwhile, Ross Jenkins is going to make his final change of the game. Lewis Coyle will be sacrificed in, and Brooklyn Kabongolo will be replacing him. Just wondering, we're okay to continue. The referee's ready to continue, but Lewis Coyle will trudge off the field. Gets a standing ovation from the City fans. He will jog off now, and Brooklyn Kabongolo. So another defensive change from Ross Jenkins. Can they hold on to that win that has eluded them for so long in the National League? I think we've got about 1-2 minutes left, Rennie.
Yep.
It's been a good game, hasn't it?
Yeah, in the second half, we've ridden our luck well. Hadn't had too many chances ourselves, ridden our luck well, and defended astutely, compact at the back. And looks as though we're going to get the win.
Well, it's not over until it's over, as we have found out so many times this season. Josh Parker's going to be booked for halting the restart here. It's just more added time onto added time. It gives Wealdstone an opportunity. It's now Hail Mary stuff if you're into American football analogies. Ball forward. Flicked forward by Cook. Hooked away by Phillips. But he strayed offside, the Wealdstone man. And the fans behind the goal, who've travelled in their numbers today, just look visibly frustrated because it just hasn't gone their way today. Multiple opportunities spurned. And it looks as though Oxford City are on the verge of holding on for what may not do anything for them this season, but it just shows that they will keep going until the last ball is kicked. Tom Watson over this free kick now. 97 minutes on the clock here. Watson hits the ball out of his feet, just waiting for that next touch. Chested down and well by Parker. Krasnicki goes onto it. Away by Mundell-Smith. Is this the last chance of the game? Alarakia. No, it's not. It's a win for Oxford City. They may have been relegated from the National League, but they will continue to go right till the bitter end. It's a hammer blow for Wealdstone, an opportunity missed for them, but a big win for Oxford City. Perhaps not in league stature, but for morale. It's a win that's been coming for Ross Jenkins' team, and it's eluded them throughout the past 4 or 5 games. But today, they've done it. They've played really well. They've created opportunities in the first half. They've taken their chances. And more importantly, they've defended well, kept that clean sheet, and earned a very impressive 3 points. That's all from us today at the Royal Charging Stadium. Thank you for joining us. We're going to Shropshire for the last few moments of the game at Oxford United. It's Shrewsbury 1, Oxford United 1. But here at the Royal Charging Stadium, it's finished. Oxford City 1, Wealdstone 0.
Is admittedly maybe a lack of composure at times, and inevitably there will be a focus on the goalkeeper, because in this game Cumming has not made a save.
No, absolutely not. That is his first shot on target of any very serious intent. And you're right to point out the other parts of the game which weren't whole today. The amount of times Dale's had it in the final third and not produced. Murphy's been 1v1 a couple of times, and don't get me wrong, he's put in some superb balls as well, but again had shooting, scoring opportunities. It's not happened. Oxford should not have been, the scoreline should have been favourable to Oxford United. We cannot go away from that. We cannot shy away from that. It's a game Oxford should have won.
I mentioned Lincoln's score being so important. Obviously they're in form. They've battered a lot of teams, but today Lincoln snuck a 1-0 against Leyton Orient, but Lincoln's run-in just looks favourable compared to Oxford, and just feel like today, I mean they are still playing in that game, but you just feel today that's maybe where Oxford's momentum or the momentum in the race for sixth place has swung.
Yeah, there's lots of things that can still happen. They're still in a good position, but they've had an opportunity to. You want to be the leader in this scenario, and that Lincoln point. If it finishes 3 points, if it finishes that way, added to their goal difference, it really puts them in the ascendancy. They are flying at the moment, and Oxford are stumbling their way around 6th and 7th position.
Very quickly, with Stevenage being held today, admittedly by Bolton, with Blackpool losing today, it would sit in the hat. That is confirmed now at Derby. This could become a two-horse race, but it could, if United aren't careful, become Lincoln's 6th place to lose.
Well, it is at the moment. They're in the ascendancy. They've got the position. They've got the shirt, as to speak. And now, what's really going to come to the fore is that, I don't know, it might actually relax. Let's hope it relaxes some players, that they're not having to.
They were tight, weren't they, today?
Yeah, absolutely. And it might actually relax them to the point where they can go and say, do you know what? Let's just go do our job. We don't have to look around what's going on anywhere else, because that simply, I'm not going to say it wasn't acceptable. It just wasn't enough. It wasn't enough.
There's a lot of nearly and a lot of not quite, wasn't there, today?
Yeah, and it was, and you got to ask why, because they were so set up. This is good opposition to play. This is the pitch is great. There's loads of room. There's
they haven't got a great deal to play for. They're pretty much safe, aren't they?
The crowd is tentative in terms of there's no atmosphere or anything here. It was a really good fixture to have, much like the Port Vale game, and the opposition didn't show loads. They did. They played their part, obviously, and caused Oxford some issues, but they didn't do enough for you to think that, oh, this is a great fighting point away from home. It just wasn't enough.
Barnsley 0, Cambridge 2, Derby 1, Blackpool 0 as a result. Exeter 1, Charlton 1. Fleetwood, who come to the Kassam on Monday, have been beaten 2-1 at home by Cheltenham this afternoon. Lincoln's win over Leyton Orient 1-0. Well, that's all that matters. They'll take that all day long, particularly given this result. Lincoln 1, Leyton Orient 0. Lincoln will go 6th. Peterborough 1, Carlisle 3. Port Vale 2, Bristol Rovers 0. Reading 1, Northampton 0 is a result. Stevenage 0, Bolton 0. Wigan 1, Burton 1. Wickham 1, Portsmouth 3, also a result. The League One table is not the way Oxford United wanted it to look after today's games, because they have lost control of the situation. It is actually still in their own hands, because they're only out of the top 6 on goal difference. Lincoln's goal difference is significant, and it is in their own hands because they've still got Lincoln to play. But if you're a gambling person, you'd be looking at Lincoln, surely. Lincoln's price must have dropped dramatically to make the playoffs.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if Lincoln finished higher than 6th at the moment, the way they're going. They're so...
Well, the two teams above them, Peterborough and Barnsley, have had shocking results today, both beaten by relegation contenders on their own ground.
Yeah, this is an opportunity missed, because it would, like you say, could have put pressure on the teams above them. Instead, Oxford are firmly looking at the teams below them and what's happening to them, and having to contend with Lincoln.
Funnily enough, if Oxford had won today, they might actually have been looking at Barnsley and Peterborough and thinking
And
they could
dragging them in.
They could be reined in too. Yeah, absolutely right. I'll give you scores from the other divisions as well. Championship: Bristol City 1, Leicester City 0, Millwall 1, West Brom 1, Cardiff 0, Sunderland 2, Huddersfield 1, Coventry 3, Hull 0, Stoke 2, Norwich 2, Plymouth 1, Preston 3, Rotherham 0, QPR 2, Birmingham 1, Sheffield Wednesday 1, Swansea 1, Southampton 1, Middlesbrough 1. They results from the Championship: Bristol Rovers against Ipswich and Watford against Leeds to follow later on today. BBC Radio Oxford Sport. I'll tell you about League 2 shortly. We've got full-time at Oxford City. Well, they're going down with a smile on their face. It would seem already relegated, but this is a big scoreline for them today, Andy Gate.
Yeah, full time, Jerome. Oxford City 1, Wealdstone 0. 3 points that don't do anything for City's league status, but a win that has eluded them for so long. Their first win since January, secured through Josh Parker's poked finish in the first half that slipped through Marcus Dewhurst, the Wealdstone goalkeeper's fingers. In the second half, Wealdstone huffed and puffed, but they spurned a number of big chances in what was a massive game for them, the biggest of which, Manny Duku, missing an open net when it looked harder to miss, but he did. We said that City could have a big say in other teams' destinies in their last few games. Well, today they've dragged Wealdstone back into the mire with them, but today is a bittersweet day for them. Full time, Oxford City 1, Wealdstone 0.